My name's Cliff Adams. I was born in Barre, Vermont. I went to Vietnam during 1968 and 69 with the United States Marine Corps. In the 50 years since I've been in Vietnam, I've learned that memory can change with time. Memories that I've had about my experience. I'm fortunate in that my mother saved all the letters that I wrote home from Vietnam, well over 100. In the letters, I see my writing, and I know that what I'm saying is my voice, and yet a lot of the things are different than what I remember. In my memory, it was only a few weeks after I was in Vietnam that I became really disillusioned with the war. I didn't know why we were there, and I was going to leave my outfit. I was trained in 81mm mortars. We were in the jungle with a company offering support. And I was going to leave that and join what they called a CAG unit, it was a Community Action Group, because I wanted to get out of the things that I was doing and go to help the people that were there. I never did join a CAG unit, but the interesting thing was I went back looking at my letters to see when I wrote home saying that I was going to do this, and I can't find it. I'm certain that I wrote that home, but I couldn't find any of the letters that I wrote. And I looked through all the letters that were in 1968, from July when I arrived through the end of the year. The thing that I did find in reading the letters is that most of the stuff that I was talking about, I've now totally forgotten. And the shocking thing was, even though I'd forgotten it, most of the stuff that I read about felt like it happened this morning. It was incredible that something I couldn't remember still felt so real, so new. I was in Vietnam in July of 1968, and on August 1st, I wrote the following story home to my family. I wrote it from a place called the Rock Pile. It was a site of a battle in Vietnam that I didn't take part in, but sort of put Rock Pile label on the map, sort of like Khe Sanh. So this was written from the Rock Pile in Vietnam on August 1, 1968. Of course, I'm new here in the Nam, so except for the stories the old salts tell, I really don't know too much yet. One interesting thing, though, is the lingo used by the boys over here. For instance, over here the states are called the world. One of the first things I heard was a guy telling how he had only 36 more days and he was going back to the world. That's what it is, really. Because over here, it's a different world. It's a world that has to be seen before it can be really known. I'll tell you what it was like and how I felt when we got here at the Rock Pile 2 days ago. I've been in Vietnam a couple of weeks now, but until we moved out here, we were really in the rear. Back there, it's hard to believe there was really a war going on, especially for someone new like me. Here we are at the Rock Pile. It's dark now, but it wasn't really an uneventful day. The first thing we learned after the chopper dropped us off was they were rocketed just a couple of days ago. We got this information from Phil, an old friend from Camp Pendleton who came out here early. Phil didn't waste any time getting any medals here either, because he got caught outside when the rockets hit and caught some shrapnel in the arm. Less than 3 weeks in the Nam, and he already has a Purple Heart. I guess you could say this tensed our nerves up a little bit, as everybody stayed close to the bunkers. Then a report came in that an AO spotted about 20-25 rockets pointed in our direction. Now, we're sitting inside the bunkers. Daylight's gone now, though, and we didn't get hit with any rockets. Our artillery either knocked them out or scared them away. Now it's dark out, and we're laying on top of the hill. The noise from the tanks firing is shaking the ground. The sound of choppers in the air make the sky sound like an expressway. Off to the right, about 3 miles away, there's a couple illumination flares lighting up the horizon there. Above the flares, a single blinking light reveals where Puff is circling around the lighted hilltops. A stream of tracers wave like a snake from its 100 rounds per second gun. Somebody must be really catching hell out there. Puff can fire enough rounds in 30 seconds to put a round every single inch for the length of a football field. The tanks are firing faster now. Every shell sounds like a jet as it roars out over the hills. In the seconds between all the tank fire, you can hear a machine gun up in the valley. There's no doubt about it. This is a war, all right. But what are my buddies and I doing? Like I said, we're lying here on the top of the hill. Oh yeah, I forgot. One guy's got a radio playing. I can faintly hear a new song I heard last month when I was back in the world. There's a war, all right. But all I can think of is a big movie, and we're sitting right in the middle of the screen. You kind of wonder what you want. A rifle? A box of popcorn? That's my story.